this film of this size, as much as people think it's a really big thing, it's such a small budget-sized film for what we're doing, and to have Fava and other communities and areas support you and back you, it makes it possible, because it's not possible without that support.
If you want to make films, in my opinion, there's not a better place than Edmonton. We have the resources of a larger city. We still have a small town feel and camaraderie that happens, and when someone is going forward with a project, everyone wants to help support it.
I think Edmonton has one of the most supportive film communities in the country. I've lived in Vancouver, I've lived out east. I've tried to make films in all places that I've lived, and Edmonton has by far been the most supportive. This community has that kind of competitiveness, but together, and everyone sort of pushes each other and helps each other out. It's kind of a weird place.
Basically, between reserves and regular force, I spent just under 12 years in the military. I've never experienced anything that compares to the military besides the film industry, and not just for the camaraderie, but the expertise in everything that a person is doing, joking around, the systematic way things are done, the regiment of you need to be here at this time, and if you're not here at this time, you're screwing somebody else over.
We have to help each other out. It's not just about me or you or anyone else. It's how do we help each other out as a community, because that's how we can make this place grow.
Forty Below and Falling is a romantic comedy adventure about a story of Kate, who is teaching up north, and she's trying to make it home, and a giant snowstorm hits her town, and she can't make it out. The roads are closed, airport's closed, so she has to hop on the back of a snowmobile with a stranger, Redford, and make a 3-day journey across the Rocky Mountains to the nearest town.
We tried to explore a bunch of different genres, but really it's a story of not settling and about kind of allowing yourself to live again. Two central characters, Kate and Redford, are both kind of at different stages in their lives, and the journey they go on kind of changes their perspective on things and help them break out of their shell, I guess, essentially.
Kate is kind of a princess. She is very much out of her element, and she's just trying to get back to the big town for her wedding. She's, of course, snowed in and can't catch a flight, and meets this burly, surly mountain man who ends up helping her get home.
So my character, Redford, is a bit of a recluse who has moved out based on some past relationship woes. He's a writer and still manages to connect with the people, but prefers silence.
For Kate to take that risk and get on that snowmobile, she's on for an adventure, and I kind of find that interesting parallel with the theme of this film, which is we took that leap and we bit off a little more than we could chew, but we made it happen, and it's been an amazing ride so far. Dylan originally came across the script, and I was pitching it to us, and I read it, and I was just like, "You're insane! Like this is not possible." And you wanted to shoot in 3D? What?
There was a bit more adventure in this script, a bit more stunts and action than my past films have had. And I think as a director, you're always trying to get as much depth as you can to a shot, and 3D just allows you to have that depth in a different way that 2D kind of can't.
It became evident as we were moving through prep that the original plan we had for a rig wasn't going to work. And so Dylan Pierce told me that there was a local genius who would put a rig together for us very quickly.
Sitting down with Larry, kind of going over all the things we needed, and then him saying he could build it.
I've never been on a 3D set with a 3D rig before, so I kind of came at it from a different angle. Dale Gregg and I started Transform Cine Gear. We're setting up a prototype lab, and we'll be doing some manufacturing of gear for the film industry. We'll have a number of products on the market by this time next year.
The success that we had with this rig was so much exceeded my expectations and reservations going into it that my hope is to continue to put this rig in service, not only locally, but to help get it out there and realize Larry and Dale's dreams of having a more global market for it.
In a small production town like this, and that's really where it's at, is people working together and people supporting each other to put these productions together.
I couldn't have made this film anywhere else, and I'm not just saying that because I feel like I have to. It's honest to God. We had great support from the city, the Edmonton Film Commission, who just stepped up and did everything they could to make it work.
For the people who live here, they're aware of multiple levels of support that you can access. On an independent artist level, things like the Edmonton Arts Council, Alberta Foundation for the Arts, Canada Council for the Arts, and then commercial side, you have the Alberta Media Fund, you have Telefilm, there's the Edmonton Film Fund, there's tax credits in place that can help support that. Places like FAVA are also a great way to connect people.
When I met Dylan Pierce and he first started talking about this project, it was finally a way for me to see I could have a life in Edmonton as well. For me, it's great. I live at home, I work at home, I see my family, and it's something new after many years. We've been very actively trying to develop a 3D community here. There's no reason why Edmonton can't be a center of that universe as much as anywhere else. And we certainly have the expertise here, the enthusiasm, and very talented people who are mobilizing to make that happen. And the more the merrier.
There's opportunity all over the place to learn, and why not have fun? If you can have fun doing what you do, then do it.
We had numerous interns and volunteers and people who were just interested in getting involved in film as part of the crew. And that's the way most of us started in the film industry. We had a lot of enthusiasm. Maybe we didn't really have a clue what we were doing initially, but it's about getting involved in something that interests you.
The film industry has been a life changer for me. So that's, I get very emotional about it, and I'm just too happy all the time to not be doing it. So, yeah. And the people I worked with were phenomenal, and I couldn't think of working with anybody else.
Maybe that's independent movie making. That's what it is, It's like, here's the really great group of people and some equipment to make a movie. And you go and you do the best you can, and nobody sleeps, and everyone gets along, and you make friendships that last, hopefully forever, out of those particular experiences,
How many sound does it right the first time?
Yeah, I think between the amazing crews that Edmonton has, the great landscapes in and around Edmonton, this is where we've set up shop, and we want to continue to make films.